Hello everyone, this is Sunniva and you are watching Board Gaming Rumblings, and today we're doing another Every Game in the Collection video. I'm standing all the way over here, and the first game I'm going to talk about is all the way over there. I'm kinda having a hard time to see it even. It's Patchwork Express. Patchwork is a UV Rosenberg game for 2 players, and it's this placing this Tetravino style tiles onto a carpet. You're making a carpet, I think. Yeah. I haven't played that one. It's been like simplified version to be more family friendly. Johanna says it's good and Patchwork is good, so I can't see how this has gone wrong in any way. Bonanza is also a Uwe Rosenberg game. That is one of his classic games. More, simple than his more meaty stuff like Agricola and Caverna, but yeah, Bonanza is also interesting in that way. It has a really cool, you have these beans that you're trying to trying to get them into the ground so they can grow. Is that so? I don't know. It's in Norwegian. Yeah. You're planting seeds. Thank you. And you have this queue of cards on your hand, so you can't shuffle or like rearrange or sort your cards in any way. What is in the front of the queue you have to plant first, and what's in the back of the line you have to wait a while to get to do. And you're trying to collect these sets basically, so you have to trying to like have a lot of a few kind of beans. And you can also trade off your own beans. You see, like, I'm not collecting this, maybe I can get something that I actually do collect, so you're trading with others. Super cool game, super simple, great family game that you should absolutely check out. Next up we have The Resistance. That is a hidden role bluffing style game, which I am horrible at. Bluffing games, I don't know if it's lying or just attention or just being right. I don't know. When I'm the bad guy in The Resistance and other bluffing games, I'm a bad liar, I think. I just want it to be over. I want to be the good guy, kinda. Yeah, and that is stressful also. It's a classic game, not the most interesting bluffing games, because this is more classic. So if you like that kind of games, you will definitely like Resistance. But yeah, I'm horrible at it. So yeah. Next up we have Seven Wonders Duel. That is a super solid 2-player only game based on the card system in Seven Wonders. So you have like the same kind of cards that you can build, but only you're not drafting here, you're building them from a tableau, like this pyramid that gets more and more revealed. So you have to like buy the bottom first and then go upwards. And it's, I take one turn, then you take one turn, and what really fixes this game, we talked a lot about this in the top 10 2-player only games, because I had it there at least pretty high up there. And what is really interesting is that you have to buy the expansion for this, because it basically fixes the game, because in the main game you can kind of force your opponent to take a really bad card, or securing yourself a good card, or like just by luck, and the expansion fixes that. The next game is Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. This is a 2-player variant of Agricola. It feels really classic. If you like Agricola, you probably like this. They have a lot of similarities. I think it's okay, but I'm not that big fan of Agricola either, so I'm not for this game. Yeah, but it's a classic. It's super solid and it's enjoyable. It gives you kind of that Agricola feeling, but being a lot simpler. Then we have Blitz, a stress game where you're trying to grab different objects and the way you're grabbing them is that it's revealing cards and it shows off the object, but it might be in the wrong color. And then you try to work your brain around, okay, which one is the right thing to grab now? Should we grab anything at all? So you're trying to like, oh, that is the right color, I will grab this. Not really good at this. Johannes is super good at stress games, so I always tend to lose those. And next game we have here is The Bloody Inn. This is one of my favorites. This is a really cool game with a like macabre theme. You're running this inn and taking tourists into sleep at your inn and stay there, but yeah, you kind of get rid of them so you can take their money, but you can't take their money until they're properly buried. So there's a process there, and you have these multi-use cards, so you want to hire people to work for you, and depending on what you use them for, they give you special abilities. And you also have to watch out for the police who can come, and if you have some bodies that you haven't buried, bad for you. Super interesting game. I haven't played the expansion yet. I really want to do that. Strongly recommend you check that game out. Omen. Yeah, I think that is a prototype actually. Let me just see if I can take it out here. Yeah, it has a blank backside. So this is a prototype, and it's a card game that I don't remember much of, but we like to keep some of the prototypes that are really nice and that we have enjoyed. So this is one of them. I don't remember much about it. As I said, Johannes does most of the research. Almost lost it. Most of the resource for the research. Johannes does most of the research for the games that we get, so I don't know that much about this game. The next game is Kanagawa, and that is a really beautiful game. It's about making these pictures and like adding these paintings to your tableau. It's really beautiful, but it's also like this perfect I'm too tired to play a game, but still want to do a little game kind of thing. It doesn't burn your brain. It's not that much thought that you have to give into it. Just like this perfect amount of interesting decisions, and you want to add paintings to your tableau to paint this beautiful like landscape, and also get the right symbols that you need. So yeah, not too complex, pretty simple actually, but still enjoyable game. Lost Cities, I think that is probably the game that I've played the most. We got this kind of early in our gaming career, and we've just played this a lot. I think when we first, like, when you have it out, you can easily play like 5 or 10 times in a row, because it goes by so quick and it's super simple. You draw cards, and you have different colors and different values, and you want to start an expedition. So you need to see what colors that you think you are able to score high points in, have high value cards in, because when you start an expedition, you have to be fairly, or hope to be fairly sure to get over a 20 in value. If you have like 18 value, you get deducted 2 points, because that's the difference from 100. So yeah, 20, the difference from 20, and you basically like want to get over 20 points on the expedition that you're making. And you have to like, oh, should I go heavy in for 1 expedition, 2 expedition, or maybe I should go crazy and do more, like 3, 4, or should I gamble that this expedition will do really well, that I'm going to get the cards that I need for this one, and like boost it so that I double or maybe triple my points? But then I will also have to double or triple the negative points if I don't like score over a 20 in value. So really cool game. We have enjoyed it a lot. We don't play it a lot anymore, because our collection has grown quite a bit since then. Yeah, honestly. This is Mini Rails, and I don't like 18x games, so XX games, so I'm not that big fan of stocks or trains. But this is a simplification of that like style of games, and it's a nice introduction to get people into this kind of stock market or train building games. It's very simple, a little take that ish, but that's the way it is, and I think it's a nice introduction to that kind of games. Race for the Galaxy. This is a game that I really enjoyed when we first got it. It's about, oh, there's so many symbols in this game. First learning this game was, yeah, a little hard because what does this mean? What does this card do? It's so many symbols. It's interesting. You're playing these action cards. So you have like, I think it's 5 different actions, and you're trying to be the only one to play the card that you want to play so that you can benefit from the other players' cards, but also get to do the one action that you want to do a little better than the others. And you can go for just building out all of these planet cards from your hand as fast as you can, going for a rush strategy, or trying to produce like these resources and trying to get an engine going with doing that. And there is expensive planets with final scorings on them, and there is more this simpler, and some make resources, some don't. I like this better than Roll for the Galaxy. I'm not sure why. I think I like that this is simpler in a way. I like this better. Then we have Fuse. We have the Polish version of Fuse because we bought this at a local game store in Poland, like as a little souvenir. This is a stress cold game where you're trying to, I think it's disarm a bomb that you're doing, but basically you're rolling these dice and you're trying to see which colors and which values works for your bombs. So you can say like, oh, I can take this red tree die, I can do that, and then the other guys can say, but then we don't have anything to do with the ones that are left. And if you take a die and it doesn't match, then you get some kind of penalty, and you have to disarm all the bombs before the time goes off. Really enjoyable, but you get a little exhausted after a few plays of this. Destination X is from, is it a Porta Games? Yeah, from our Norwegian friends. That also made Santa Maria and Trails of Tucana. One of the designers made them. And this is, one player is the spy, and the other player are trying to figure out where he is. And he is in a country that you have to like ask information, how many are the residents above like 5 billions or not, and you're kind of learning trivia as you go, so you kind of, the spy knows everything about the country that he's in, but the other players don't. Say like, okay, do we think this country has more than, do we think this has like this religion or this way of government? It's a nice combination. I think it's nice. We're not the ones to play a lot of trivia games, so this is a nice combination. It feels like you're getting like the best of both worlds, kind of. Then we have Carcassonne, and for you that have followed our channel a while, you know that Carcassonne kind of have a special place in my heart, because that was the game that got me into some kind of gaming. I only played that game. I only liked that game. Johannes had a really hard time getting me to play any other games. So although I don't play it now, I can easily take it out if I'm playing with a new player that hasn't played that much before, or if I get invited somewhere and they have Carcassonne. Yeah, sure, I'll join. It's nice. This is one of the games that I actually like best with fewer players because it goes so quickly between your turns, and it's just like this little puzzle and this little activity to play. It's a lot of different versions of this games and expansions. I think the version that I like best is the Star Wars Carcassonne. It's just, I like the theme, and some of the mechanics that is added. It's really, yeah, it's really enjoyable. Next up, we have Baron Park, and I think that is my most favorite, or at least like up there in types of Tetrimino style games. You're trying to build this bear park, the bear zoo, and you're puzzling your grids, seeing how you're supposed to like put your attractions, put your bears, and what rides you're going to have where so that it fits. And also there are these special goals each time that gives you the most points if you're like, if you build the biggest patch of forest that are connected, or the longest river, and yeah, I really like this puzzle, and it's a really enjoyable game. Next we have Century Spice Road and Eastern Wonders. I've just played Spice Road. If I have played Eastern Wonders, I don't remember it. No, I haven't. I haven't played this game. But I've played Century Spice Road, and that is a really, it's a nice and simple game where you're like taking these cards that can give you more ways to transform your spices, so that you can go from getting a few simple spices to get more and more, so they're worth more, and finally so you can turn those, like trade those spices in for victory points to buy cards. So I think it's nice. We played it a lot when it first came out. I really want to play Eastern Wonders, and also the third game in this series that I don't remember what it's called. But and also you can set them all together. But yeah, that is too complex for me to think of when I only have played the one game. Then we have Mystic Veil. It's from John DeClaire, and he's made this really interesting card crafting system. So in this game you have like it's kind of like a deck builder. You're playing your cards, but instead of getting more cards in your deck, you're upgrading the cards that you already have. And it's kind of a push your luck game as well, because you have this corruption of some of the cards, and if you push too far and get too much corruption, then you get some kind of penalty and don't get to do all the things that you wanted to do. And you want to get more upgrades for your cards, and also scoring some victory points. Then I have to switch sides and balance on my chair over here. The first game we have here, it's the box is just pitch black with some like hexagons on them. It's what is the name of this? I don't remember. It's the Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. And this is a hidden movement bluffing game, which I am terrible at. So I don't like this game a lot. Johannes likes it more than me. So some other humans and some are the aliens, and you're trying to bluff where you're going and don't get caught. So here we have the illustrations. Just it says so in Norwegian. We have this game because it's a classic family game that you can buy in every bookstore or game store here in Norway. So it's nice to have like this one familiar game that Norwegians can relate to. Board gaming isn't like really a popular hobby in Norway at the same level as in Germany, for example. So the people who buys games, like family games in Norway, mostly buy these kids games. Like we saw something over here, like Talk Woodman, or these classic games like Settlers, Catan, Monopoly, Ticket to Ride, and also Illustrations are one of them. So that's why it's on the shelf. And finally, we have Scarabia. I played this for the first time not that long ago in PortalCon in Poland, and it was okay. It's one of those many Tetrimino style games where you're trying to build on a grid. The thing with this game is that you want to surround as many scarabs as you can and try to build them in an open area and secure that one so that the scarab is worth the most points that you can. So that is the shelf. I hope you had fun. You can kind of get a sneak peek of what we're, and soon I can go off this chair and stand on the solid floor again. And I'm also guessing that I'll be sitting on the floor soon, so yay! Anyways, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sunniva and you've been watching Board Gaming Rumblings, and bye bye!